After having helped successfully more than 3,000 students pass their PTE exam, this is the number one trick that I've noticed that helps people improve their repeat sentences the fastest. I haven't found anything like this on the internet, and I've discovered it by complete accident. But if you don't do well in your repeat sentences, you are losing anywhere from 10 to 15 points in your listening section. And if you need 65 or 79 in your exam without doing well in the majority of your repeat sentences, there is no way you're going to get your result. And I'm going to take you right now from struggling to get the really long sentences correct to guaranteeing that you will be getting almost 70% of all of your points in repeat sentences. So let's jump straight into it. Everybody, this is Alex from Dream English and Visa Consultancy, back again with a long form video. I know it's been a while. We've been extremely busy with opening offices abroad and helping a lot of students with their PTE and visa situation. We've been getting a lot of messages lately about repeat sentences. And if you check our YouTube and our TikTok, we've been posting short form videos, anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes, about little tips and tricks. But today, I finally wanted to share with you the number one trick that I've discovered over the years of how to actually get the maximum points in your repeat sentences. Now, if you don't know yet, repeat sentence is the question that gives you the most points in the whole exam, in your speaking and in your listening, because of course they are connected. And lately, I've noticed a lot of students coming to us and they want our help to improve their score. And the large majority of them are passing their speaking, they're passing their writing, they're passing their reading, but they still really struggle in their listening. So they focus a lot of time on their summarized spoken text and on their listening skill and all the write from dictations. But when we look at their score, it's very obvious to us as trainers that it's not actually their listening skill that's lacking. Because if they're failing in listening, their writing section would also be lower because of write from dictation usually. But the number one reason why people fail in listening only is because of repeat sentences. And as I mentioned earlier, repeat sentence gives you up to 15 points in your listening section alone. So imagine that out of 10 sentences, you really struggle and you only did well in 3 or 4 of them. Chances are you already lost 10 entire points in your listening and you haven't even gotten to the listening section yet. So before I explain to you what is this trick, let me just quickly go through the PTE scoring guide and explain to you why a lot of people get repeat sentences wrong. So have a look here at my screen. This is the official PTE scoring guide. Okay, so this is from the PTE website. You can find it there for free as well. And let us just quickly close this on the side. Repeat.
Wait a second.
Okay, and let's have a quick look here at repeat sentences, exactly how does it work. Now, in this video specifically, I'm not focusing so much on the speaking. I'm focusing more on the listening section. So how do you get the maximum amount of points in the listening? And again, as I mentioned, it's roughly 15% out of 90 overall in your listening. So let's have a look here. As you can see, repeat sentences give you points in listening and in your speaking. And of course, the most important thing I'm focusing on for the purposes of this video, it's not the video, it's the content specifically. Meaning how you speak, your pronunciation and your oral fluency goes to your speaking, but your content, specifically the words that you're getting correct out of the sentence, gives you points in your listening. So first of all, if you see errors, replacements, omissions, insertions only, hesitations, filled or unfilled pauses, or leading or trailing materials are ignored in the scoring of the content. So what does that mean? That means for the purpose of your listening points, if you pause or you hesitate or you have a bit of a delay, this is going to affect your speaking, but it's not going to affect your listening, okay? You will get 3 out of 3 points if all of the words in the response from the prompt are in the correct sequence. So what does that mean? Let's say my sentence is 10 words. That means I got 10 words exactly correct without replacing anything, without missing anything, not even missing S or ED or swapping or the, meaning perfectly correct, no mistakes whatsoever. The truth is this is really hard, and that's even hard for a lot of the native English speakers that I get in my classes. We always deal with South Africans, with Irish, with Scottish students, and even for them, it's very difficult to get these 100% correct. Now, what I'm going to focus on is this right here, okay? To get 2 points in your content out of 3, at least 50% of the words in the response from the prompt are in the correct sequence. So what does that mean? Okay, very important nuance. You got 10 words, so 50% is 5 words. What that means is you have to get 50% of the sentence in sequence without making any mistakes. So if you got a 10-word sentence, you got to get 5 in a row without mistakes. It could be the first 5, it could be the last 5, or it could be 5 words in the middle. The important thing is that it's consecutive, uninterrupted words. So you could be getting the first word wrong, but you're getting the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth correct, right? You could mess up the first half of the sentence, but you're getting the last 5, or you're getting the first 5 and you messed up the ending. So this is what they mean. Now, from my experience, it's very difficult to try to get the last 5 words. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. Getting 5 words in the middle or 6 words in the middle is pretty much impossible, because it's, if you mess up the start and you forgot the end and then you don't know what to do. So my number one piece of advice, and this is not the main trick, the number one piece of advice so far is focus on the beginning part of the sentence always. Pay really close attention and try to get the first 50%, however long the sentence is. Meaning if it's 12 words, you want to get 6. If it's 13, you need to get 7. If it's 14, you still need to get 7. You get the idea, right? Now, in the case that you're not able to get the first 50% and the accent is hard, something is very technical, very difficult to understand, then of course try to catch the last 50%. But that's your plan B. Don't focus on the end. Always focus on the beginning. Now, what does it mean? If I get 2/3 of my points in content for getting 50% of the words in sequence. So what is 2/3? That's 66.66666%, right? So what that means is I'm getting almost 70% of all my points for the content if I get the sentence only half correct. Okay, so out of 10 words, I only really need to get 5 in sequence to get the majority of my marks in listening. Now, I'm going to play one, let's say, difficult repeat sentence for you, okay? And I want you to do the best you can and be very honest with yourself. There's nobody else listening you do this in your bedroom or on your phone. Be very honest how many words you actually got in sequence. So once I repeat the sentence afterwards, be honest and tell me how many words you actually got in the right sequence without any mistakes. Okay, so let's actually try this. Give me a second. Let me open. And this is one of the official PTE questions, so it's not something that's made up by me. So if you want to take notes, now is a good time to pause the video and you can take notes. Or if you want to just memorize, you can close your eyes, memorize whatever it is that you do. But do your best in this situation. Ready? Here we go.
One. Factors such as cost and function influence the design of a bridge.
Okay, so here's the sentence. Factors such as cost and function influence the design of a bridge. Factors such as cost and function influence the design of a bridge. This sentence was 12 words in total. So what that means is, chances are nobody here got 12 words. Okay, even for me, it would be very difficult to hear this for the first time and get exactly 12 words. But if you got factors such as cost and function, that would be correct. Okay, you would get more than 50% in sequence, or influence the design of a bridge. If you got the ending, you would still get 2/3 of your points in the listening section. But again, be honest. I guarantee that most people watching this video, and there's no shame in admitting this, I'll be the first one to admit it. If I didn't know exactly how the marking in repeat sentences works, what I would generally do is I would understand most of the sentence and I would get maybe 3-4 words correct, 1 mistake. 2-3 words correct, 1 mistake. 2-3 words correct, 1 mistake. So when I get people that come to us and they say, Alex, I'm doing really well in repeat sentences, I don't know why I fail my listening. And I listen to how they're doing it. And what I noticed, and this happened to countless students, they're very intelligent. They work really hard. They practice on YouTube every day. They've given the exam many times. They take time from work. They quit their job, because this is very important if you need to get your PR or if you need to get a high score for your visa, right? They are so hardworking and so intelligent, and they practice so much doing initials. They are getting 10 out of 12 words correct, 9 words out of 11 correct, 11 out of 14 words correct. Oftentimes, some of them practice so much, they know these sentences by heart when they are repeated. The number one problem, though, is that repeat sentences don't come repeated as often anymore as they used to. They've added thousands of new ones recently, so even if you practice prediction files and different websites, out of 10 of them or 12 of them, you may only get 3 or 4 familiar ones. So you still need to perform in the other 6. And where those students are going wrong is they are breaking the sequence. Instead of they said the. Instead of in, they say on. And that may have happened to you as well. And when you listen to yourself, you think, oh, I got it right. But then if I check it with the software, let's say on our platform, I see that they keep making mistakes every 3-4 words. So again, we've covered this in some of the previous videos that we posted regarding repeat sentences. If you haven't seen them, we'll link them in the description, or you can check on our page. But it's not about how many words you can get in total. This is how it used to be in PTE before. Nowadays, since they changed a couple of things, it's all about what is the maximum number of words that you can get in sequence without making mistakes. Now, to get 79, you don't need to get all of these sentences perfectly, and you don't need to be able to remember 15 words or 14 words, even 13 words. For most sentences, you just need to get 5 to 6 words only. 5 to 6 words only in sequence without mistakes. And I promise you, if you do this and you test yourself, and I'll show you in a second, for example, on our platform, how I get my students to test themselves, if you see that you're constantly doing this and improving, you can improve your listening by up to 10 or even 15 points, depending how bad you were doing before. So finally, what is this magic trick? And I'll show you first in the official PTE software here, but then I'll show you as well like how you can check this when you practice on your own. So I'm going to play one more sentence right now. Again, do your best, be honest, try to get it correct. Okay, you ready? Here we go.
2. It's important that humans dispose of their waste in appropriate ways.
Go ahead. How did that go? Pretty tough, right? Now, here's the trick. And I'll show you again more examples of this. You ready? I'm going to play this sentence one more time. And be honest, previously you maybe got 3 words, maybe 2, maybe you didn't understand the accent. Now, I'm going to play the sentence, and about halfway through, I'm going to turn off the volume. And I don't want you to listen. You won't even be able to listen to the whole sentence. You only hear about half. I want you to remember that half. You ready? Here we go. Same sentence again.
2. It's important that humans dispose of their waste in
It's important that humans dispose, that's 5 words, of their waste. That's 8 words. Okay? Let's try that again. Okay, maybe that was an easy sentence. Let's give it one more shot. Or maybe it was a hard sentence. I don't know how you found it. Okay, get ready. Here we go.
2.
The research looked at neighbourhood cooperative schemes, such as community gardens.
How did that go? Probably not too well, right? A lot of people go research as community gardens, and that's not going to give you any points. Not even in listening, not even in speaking. Now, I'm going to turn off the volume halfway through. Okay? Get ready.
2.
The research looked at neighbourhood cooperatives.
The research looked at neighborhood. The research looked at neighborhood. That's 5 words. If you got the words cooperative schemes, great. The research looked at neighborhood cooperative schemes. Or 5 words. The research looked at neighborhood. Can you remember these 5 words? I know that you can, okay? And I do this live in my classes all the time with a group of students. Who here feels like you are the worst in the world at repeat sentences? And there's always 2-3 people, right? So I play a couple sentences from them start to finish, and I track how many words they get in sequence. Usually they get 2-3 words, couple of mistakes, 1-2 words, couple of mistakes more. And then I say, look, if you can understand what I'm saying to you right now, that means your English is good enough to pass this exam with at least 65. And if you're a little bit above average, even 79. So if you can understand what I'm saying, there is no reason you shouldn't be able to remember these 5 words. The problem with our brain is we cannot help but try to listen to the whole sentence, okay? And we kind of remember a couple words here and there, but it's not about how good your English is or how good your memory is. It's about how many words you can get in the right sequence. Everybody here can get 5 words. Let me show you again. Let's do a couple more of these, okay? You ready?
6. This semester, we plan to specialize.
This semester, we plan to specialize. 6 words. Can you get these 6 words? Guaranteed yes. This semester, we plan to specialize. Or even just, this semester, we plan to. Okay? Let me play again a similar length sentence from start to finish. You ready?
5. The number of students registering for postgraduate research has risen.
Okay. The number of students registering for postgraduate research has risen. A lot of people can get this correct. And if you can get this 100% correct, then you don't need to watch this video. Okay, that means your listening skill and short-term memory is good enough. But a lot of us will struggle to get this correct. Now, let me again use the trick. And then I promise you, I'll finally show you how you can do this on your own. Okay, here we go.
5. The number of students registering for
The number of students registering. The number of students registering. I guarantee you got that right. So now let me show you how I get my students to actually improve their listening skill and how they can do this in their exam. All right, so here we're the dashboard of our own practice platform that a lot of our students get access to. And let me show you quickly what I mean by repeat sentences. So if we go to speaking here, for example, and I open repeat sentences, here's what I ask them to do. And you can do the same when you practice, okay? What I ask them to do, if you cannot get enough words in sequence, turn off the volume halfway through. So check this.
There has been a rapid growth in the...
There has been a rapid growth. There has been a rapid growth. There has been a rapid growth, blah, 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 blah. So again, don't actually say blah, 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 blah. I'm just doing this for the purposes of this video. But everybody here can remember the words, there has been a rapid growth. So look at this. There has been a rapid growth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 words out of 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got 6 out of 10 words correct. Now it shows me a lower score here because I just said randomly blah, 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 blah. But you get the point. Chances are most students, when they do these kinds of sentences, they, again, make little mistakes along the way. But now, if you keep doing this again and again and again, and you don't even let yourself hear the whole sentence, you will train to remember words in sequence.
Most of the strategies are in a preclinical...
Most of the strategies are in a preclinical. Most of the strategies are in a preclinical something, 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 something. Okay, so again, I said something randomly. Don't actually pay attention to what I said in the second half, but have a look here. Most of the strategies are in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 9 words. So again, you're doing really, really good. Now, again, when you do this, I'm not saying you're going to do this in the exam as well. I'm not saying turn off the volume in the exam. You're going to panic. You're going to get distracted. What I'm saying is that if you're trying a few of these on your own and you see that when the result comes out, you're always breaking the sequence. For example,
the current and conventional method has many disadvantages, including the side effects.
The current method has many side effects and many conventions. Okay, that was a hard sentence. So I'm just giving you an example of how a lot of people would answer this, right? So the sentence was, the current and conventional method has many disadvantages, including the side effects. And chances are, if you did this on your own, this is something what your answer could look like. You're getting 1 or 2 words, messing some up, and then getting, again, a couple of words, and then messing up the rest. This is not going to get you 65. This is not going to get you 79. So if I was to redo this sentence again with the trick of turning off the volume, let's try that again.
The current and conventional method has many...
The current and conventional method, the current and conventional method, the current and conventional method, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I guarantee, and I apologize, maybe it didn't record properly because I'm not wearing my usual headset, but you heard me say the current and conventional method. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you re-listen to the audio, okay, so you see, this is what I said. I don't have my usual mic. I'm just using this little flimsy headset. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so previously I only got 3 words in sequence. Now I'm getting 5 words in sequence. So if you train yourself to do this, eventually you can actually let the whole sound play. But your brain is going to be so focused on just the beginning part, and then you can do something similar to what I just explained, where you're just repeating the words to yourself so you can ignore the second half completely. And again, you can check this. This is what I call the broken record technique in one of the previous videos on our page. Okay, you can check it out somewhere on our page, and I'll link it in the description of this video as well. The point being, in the exam, if it's a short sentence and you're remembering 5-6 words, and then, the whole sentence is only 8 or 9 words, you can kind of hear it in the background, and oftentimes you will get it 100% correct. But the most important part, the medium, meaning 10 to 12 words, the medium sentences, and the long sentences, 13, 14, 15 words, at least you will train yourself to get half of the words in sequence. And whatever comes after that, even if you mess it up, at least you have already secured 2/3 of your points, meaning almost 70% of your points in the listening section from all of the repeat sentences. Okay. Now, one more piece of advice. Again, those of you who are practicing our platform or you're using different websites, I find a lot of people struggle with different accents. Okay. Everybody can understand American usually. In my case, it's a Canadian accent, so it's probably also quite easy to understand. But if it's like a bogan Australian accent, or if it's Scottish or Irish, it's really tough, even for me. So one of the options we have here, you can see there are different accents. There are male voices and female voices, and there is US, UK, and Australian and Irish as well. So let's say the US accent or the UK accent is okay. You can just practice 10, 15, 20 repeat sentences with an Irish accent, 10, 15, 20 with Australian, and the same thing with Irish. Or to make it more realistic to the exam, again, I advise my students in the class to set it on random, okay? So this way it's shuffling between different voices, just like you would in the exam as well. So let's recap everything start to finish, and I'll leave you with some parting tips of advice as well. So first of all, repeat sentences are hard, but you must do well in them to get 65 or 79, okay? Think about it this way. Out of 10 of them, if you need 65, you got to be getting at least 6 to 7 out of them, all correct, or more than 50% in sequence correct, based on what we just discussed, right? If you're looking for 79, that means you can mess up 1 or 2, maximum 3, maximum. But 7 to 8 of them generally have to be either all correct, which is super hard, or more than 50% in the right sequence. Now, you can test yourself in different platforms, such as the one I just showed you here, that if you try to do it on your own, okay, you will oftentimes break the sequence. You'll get 2-3 words, mistake, 2-3 words, mistake, 2-3 words, mistake. This is worthless. That's how it used to work before. Nowadays, you're never going to get your score if you're doing this for all of the sentences. So instead, you got to focus on getting words in sequence. And for most of these phrases, which are on average between 8 to 12 sentences, getting 5 to 6 words in a row is going to get you the large majority of your listening marks, okay? And as you can see, it's hard to get words in sequence if you listen to the whole thing. So you can practice by listening to about 5-6 words and then turning off the volume, and don't even care about the ending for now. When the recording starts, repeat those 5-6 words, okay? Just to train yourself to focus on a specific part of the sentence rather than trying to get all of the words and breaking the sequence and getting nothing and getting frustrated. Okay, so again, this video is going for almost 25 minutes, but I wanted to be very thorough. And this is just a portion of the depth that we go into in the class with my students. But I hope that it's enough to give you some advice how to practice. And again, as always, if you need advice regarding your score, feel free to send us a message on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. We'll link everything in the description of the video. And if you're looking for extra help with classes, you can send us your result for a free consultation. We can advise you exactly what you're doing wrong, and you can improve that on your own. Or if you want to take classes, you can message us as well. We can schedule just 1 or 2 sessions. Or as always, we have our own practice platform with mock tests that you can use. Everything will be linked in the description. Make sure to subscribe to this video if you want future videos just like that, in depth with a lot of detail, so I can show you guys how we teach our students in the class to get 65, 79, and often even 90 out of 90. This is Alex from Dream English and Visa Consultancy, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure to click subscribe and like and share this video right now. Subscribe. Tongue twister. See ya.